really is. And so what I commonly see here, and we'll just use this one, this back step here. We talk a lot about the timing of how much, overall foot contact time you should have within that first step. And now we're going to talk about how much time you should be spending off of the ground that first step. So we can see here, we got Tyquan Thornton here, and he is going to land. He's starting off at 146 with that back foot, and he's landing somewhere in there, 116, maybe like 165-ish at the most, right? And so, he's under 0.2 seconds, okay, with that time off the ground. All right, so here to here, under 0.2 seconds. And he is 6'3", so he is a pretty tall guy overall, but really the big thing that we want to look at is what is he doing with this step? Right? And so this ends up being the forward foot here, and this is the common mistake. So as people roll through, they end up spending too much time with this foot. So we could see, it somewhere comes off within this area, we'll say 0.63, right, is when he starts off with that leg, and then he gets it back down at about 9.0, right? So he spends about 2.7 seconds right there with that foot in the air. So we see a lot of people that have, over 0.33, into like 0.35, really just spending way too much time on the ground as they're transitioning their feet forward. And that really makes a big difference in, where we're able to get at within that, 5-yard mark, 10-yard mark, because it matters a lot about the timing. So if you don't understand, some of these critical concepts, then what happens is you get stuck because you just didn't have the fundamentals that are needed in order to run fast, right? And there's some guys that naturally understand some of this stuff, right? So they don't need to practice it as much, but there's a lot of you guys here that are probably watching that don't naturally understand it, and that's why you're watching this video. So you really got to be able to focus on, where your foot should be as you're hitting the ground and how much time you should be spending off the ground. So look at how quick he is with getting that foot forward and then driving right back through and then being able to quickly transition off, that back leg. He spends a little bit more time on the ground than you would really want to. He has longer legs, so he doesn't have the ability to create as good a horizontal contact with the ground when his foot's hitting the ground here, but it's still a great understanding of exactly, how quick you should be with your foot as it's going through that transition time. Now, and this is out of a 3-point stance, right? This is for the 40. When we look at the left here, we'll look at Trayvon Bromell, we'll look at the same thing, right? So his back foot, it's almost kind of hard to see because his back foot moves so fast there. We'll say it's at about 0.83. And landing, at 0.6 at really the most, right? So he's at 0.23, about the same, right? I want to say Tyquan Thornton was about 0.23, maybe 0.43. Yeah, right, 0.23 with that front foot. And then we can also see the back foot here comes off at 9.0, and then touches down at 2.6. Okay, so another great example, staying under 0.3 with that time spent off of the ground. So within that first step, we got to have very, very quick feet, right? You want to be able to have an understanding of where our body position wants to be. We don't want to end up, you can see where they are. They're not straight up, right? But you also do want to be, transitioning into a place where you're able to get your hips coming forward and through, right? Because you can see they're not letting those hips get stuck behind. That ends up being the biggest thing, is quickness with the feet and making it getting a horizontal movement pattern within our hips, right? So where our hips are not being stagnant or being stuck back behind our body. Our hips are coming forward and through, and the positioning of them are either maintained or becoming more and more forward in comparison to the landing of the foot, right? So you don't want to end up allowing that foot to be landing more out in front of the hips. As you're getting going, you want to make it so your hips are getting closer and closer to landing right up underneath your body, right? So you see how he's straightened out his legs, so now he can land with that foot, about the same position in comparison to the rest of his body. But the big thing is, he is standing upright more. So as he's getting more upright, he doesn't want to end up landing with those hips being too far back behind him or further back behind him than the last step. Okay, so you can see here, he's landing here, boom, and then gets into another good position here where his foot is right underneath the hip. All right, so just giving you guys a clear understanding of how to cycle the legs, how to look at your overall mechanics to really to be able to decipher what are some of the main things that you need to be able to improve. And I really recommend you guys doing the breakdown. It can be such a huge improvement in your ability to run fast. We have a great program that we're offering right now with the breakdowns that is just an unbelievable deal. You can check that out in the description down below. I'll probably just let that go for the rest of April, and then we'll have to make some adjustments off of that. But you can save yourself hundreds of dollars with that. So I would definitely take a look at that down below and continue to work on those steps, right? Especially those starts. There's a lot of you guys that are losing time within those first steps, that are ineffectively getting into the right body positions, right postures. And once you're in an incorrect posture when you're going through the start, then you are setting yourself up for disaster. You're not going to be able to, properly transition yourself into a good top end speed position. And so it's important to understand where you want to be. And even if you end up having a little bit slower start, but you have a good, postural position, somebody like, Joseph Fahnbulleh, he still is able to run really fast because he has some of the correct fundamentals within the start. Yeah, he's a little bit slow with his start and a little bit long with how much time he takes with his feet to touch the ground, but at least he has the fundamentals down so then he can transition to the top speed, right? But there's a lot of people that I see that just don't have those fundamentals through the start, and that makes it so you can't properly transition through the drive through the top end speed. And to me, it's just a matter of knowledge, right? It's just a matter of education. You're not properly educated in, and you don't need to have, don't rely only on yourself here to be able to get you faster. If you're only relying on YouTube and yourself and your ability to implement it, you're gonna get way less results than if you actually have a coach that will help you in being able to properly implement it. So that's the big thing, in my opinion, to really help you in being able to improve overall. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, leave those down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. We keep on doing videos just like this. If you're somebody that's new to the channel, check out some of our other videos. We have some of the best speed videos down here in the description. And yeah, subscribe, find out a little bit more, ask us some questions. We'll be happy to be able to, engage with you guys, get a better understanding of where you're at as a runner, as a sprinter. But we're all about being able to help you guys in, understanding what are the important parts of sprinting mechanics. And that's what this channel, really aims to be able to provide you. So subscribe, like, talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.